Parashas Chukas, Tafshin Pei. We're going to speak since Chazal, and from the psukim, it's obvious that the Torah is done with ashes. Through the ashes, after burning the Parah Adumah, those ashes have a certain strength. And we're going to try to focus on this and the words in the psukim about the ashes. We're going to see how many transformations we have through the psukim about them. Here we go now. Just look into the psukim themselves. There are a host of questions from the beginning to the end. I'm just going to try to mention a couple. Vaydaber Hashem el Moshe ve'el Aaron ne'imor. This time Aaron is in the tzivui, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu told them, apparently the following: Zois Chukas haTorah. Everywhere in the Torah, when you have a mitzvah, those toras haNazir, those toras haMetzora, those toras of everything. Why here it's not those chukas Parah Adumah? Because we are going to focus on the Torah from the Parah Adumah. And apparently it's a chukah. We don't know the side. We're going to see that we know plenty about it. It's a very tiny part that we don't know about it. So why did he say here Parah Adumah? Asher tziva Hashem leimor. One second. You said leimor already to introduce what you're going to say about Parah Adumah. Why do you have to repeat a second time leimor? You could have said Zot chukas haTorah asher tziva Hashem daber bnei Yisrael veikchu eilecha. Very interesting. It doesn't say lecha for you, eilecha to you. Parah Adumah temima. So we need a Parah Adumah. Aduma is not red, is brown. Temima, which is completely of one color, brown. Asher en ba mum. One second. You said temima. Temima means when we say in a carbon tamim yeh lifnei Hashem, it has to be complete. You cannot have a carbon that has a mum. So Asher and ba mum is just a repetition. There's no carbon that's tamim and that can have a mum. It's a conflict. Asher loi Allah aleha oil that never carried any weight. Not going to get to this, but the truth is, what do we care? What difference does he make? If someone put his satchel or a $100 bill on her back, it's just possible. But why would that matter, since we're concerned by the way we are going to do the process to be metayr the tummy? Which tummy? The tummy that touched a mace, a dead person, which is considered the highest level of Tuma. And that Tuma can only be removed. So Tuma Snida, the woman goes to the mikveh. The man touch her, he goes to the mikveh. But this Tuma cannot be removed by anything else than being sprayed from the Kohen with the afer, with the mixture of the ashes of the Parah Adumah and water coming from a river. Not from a mikveh, has to be from a river. Interesting again. Unsatem oisa. But you said he brings it to Moshe. So why in plural? It should have been in singular. Venosata oisa. El Elazar the Kohen. You're not going to have a pasuk. Look at this again. Ve'oitzi oisa el michutz lamachne. I mean, wouldn't it be simpler that Aaron HaKohen knows where there's a Parah Adumah? Why trouble the Parah go all the way in to the Mishkan to meet Elazar the Kohen, and then go all the way back out. Let Aaron the Kohen, on his way going out of the Machnos, he takes the Parah Adumah from wherever it is. If it's a Levi, so it's Machane Leviya. If it's Israel, it's Machne Israel. So he doesn't have to take the animal in and back out. V'shachat Isa, and he has to shechtit lefanov, before him. Who's him? All right. I think we can start the shir here, because we understand that a lot has been hinted just in this psukim, and we cannot go up, get to the bottom of it just like this by looking at the psukim. We need to get a lot deeper than this. So I'm going to introduce just something. Just want to open your eyes and your mind about a certain word. Afer. Afer is Aleph Pei Resh. Aleph Par. Kaper, to the kapara is Chaf Par. Afar is Ayin Par. These words must have a connection, because we're going to see them, and the three, there's a host more words like this. They have the same roots. Par, a bull. Para is the female of the bull. The sire we used to send on Yom Kippur was a bull. What's going on in this mitzvah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells us to do things that are going around that same word, but with one letter different? What is this letter meaning? Because obviously Afer and Afar, because the pasuk is going to play games, is going to tell us, I want to show you that actually, why. You should see it with your own eyes. Serefas hapara. Look at this, Serefas hapara. We see the burning. Look at the par in the middle. Pirsha. Look at the par. I'm telling you, it's going to be a host of Velakhu. Okay, I didn't bring that pasuk. Velakhu latame me afar srefas hachatas. Here it's afar. So sometime it's going to say you're going to have to take dust from the burning of and sometimes it's going to say ashes. What's the difference? What is the Torah trying to tell us with these changes, which don't make sense? It's not consistent. Is it the ashes that do the job, or is it the dust that does the job? And how can the dust remove, if a mikveh cannot remove the tumas mace? How is spritzing, a mixture of dust or ashes with water? Oh, I forgot to mention river water. Yes, with river water, the guy is tahar. How is it possible? Is that a hiji-biji thing? Obviously we've proven that there's no hiji-biji in the Torah time after time. So what are we talking? Let's go directly to the Zohar, and I'm going to go on the fly. Actually, I'm going to change the shir because I would like to focus just on this. I wanted to give you a synopsis of the whole Indian of the Parah Adumah, but I think since the side of the Parah Adumah is this Afer, I'm going to go directly to this. The color red, you know who was red? Esau. What did he want to eat? Red. because dinim, it dinim. Now, we're going to burn it. We shecht it normally, and we're going to burn it into a fire. But we're not just going to cook it like meat. We're going to burn it till it disappears completely. What is this burning, this type of burning, teaching you? Says the Zohar HaKadosh that when you burn the Parah Adumah, you understand the other burning, which one it is, the Gehinnom. It's dinim. So the burning by itself is dinim. And while we burn, the Zohar says, while we burn the Parah Adumah, somehow the Satan is attracted. The Sam plus the lily, Sitra Achra, okay? They're attracted. It's like a magnet to them, this. They're going to release nitzoitzos of Kedusha, and they're going to take the Tuma instead. Are they stupid? Are we dealing with stupid people? Why would they? We know that the chiyus, even the Sitra Achra, can only live through Kedusha. Kedusha is the only chayim, only life there is. And in order for someone to live, he needs to have mitzvos of Kedusha. What is Tuma? It says in the pasuk, "Velo yireh becha ervas davar." Kodesh Baruch Hu should not see something of erva by you, otherwise he will leave. A person is composed by the following elements. He has a goof. In this goof, which is made with from the legs of the nachash that were severed, inside he has a nefesh. This nefesh on one side is connected to the goof. On the other side, it's connected to the ruach and the neshama. So on one side, he has a will to go up, and on one side, he has the will to go down. That's the nefesh. Now you have inside the nefesh, so it's like these toys the children have, that where you put a cube into a cubicle into a cubicle into a cubicle. So you have the ruach inside, and you have the neshama. Though the neshama is not completely inside the person. Only the last three midos of the neshama go into the person. The other seven are outside the person, protecting the person. Why? Because he wants to remain connected with the Shechina, which is outside. And why is the Shechina here? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is here. So you understand now the consequence. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu goes, the Shechina goes. If the Shechina goes, the Neshama says, I'm out of here. I'm not staying, into a person that doesn't deserve to have the Shechina. Boom, the Shechina goes. The Ruach finds himself, hey, I have no more air from, how can I leave? I'm going. The Nefesh says, no, that the good side, I'm leaving. He finds himself with no Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Dikdusha. Every time, it's a klal in the Zohar. Every time a person sins or get ready to sin, HaKadosh Baruch Hu leaves, then the Shechina, then the Neshama, then the Ruach, then the Nefesh. So how is he living? Because right away, since he had an imprint of Kedusha, such a high level, Chelek Eloika Mimal, which is a parcel of HaKadosh Baruch Hu into him. So the imprint remaining is strong enough to interest directly the top of the food chain is the Sam and the Lily. No one else, they do not allow anyone else going into a Jew. In any other Kedusha, they let the other clippers go into it. But on a Jew, it's only them. So they provide Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama of Sitra Achel. A person, this is the soy that a person can be a Jew 1 minute and an Erev Rav the next minute. Erev Rav is not a pedigree, is not where you come from. Erev Rav is who you are internally. And that makes Esav, the son of Yitzchak Avinu, Erev Rav, worse than this. But just to give you the... So right now, what we're facing here is a person that has touched the Avi Avos haTuma, a dead person, a corpse. Now, his Nefesh Ruach Neshama from the holy side left. He's having the side of Tuma inside him, and he has inside him the Sam and the Lily. So we know clearly what are we dealing with. When a woman is Nida, she does not have, even though she has the Lily, because she is one of the names, in Mar Nida, she's called is a Nida, and we're going to see why here also we call these waters, once the mixture is done, we call them May Nida. What Nida are we talking about here? We're talking about Tomemes. So why do we talk here about May Nida? You understand that the Torah is hinting us who we're dealing with behind the scene. That's all the Torah is using those words to tell us. And we're going to see exactly how we tear up the Satan and deal with this Nida, take her out, and make the person holy. You're going to ask me, it's right, very nice. We don't have Efer HaParah today. Honestly, you're going to say, good Vatera, but what am I taking home with it? I'm going to stop you here. I'm going to tell you. Do you think, for sure, we sinned and we deserve HaKadosh Baruch Hu destroy the Beis HaMikdash? But do you think an instant that if HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't want the world to progress that way, he would have not interfered? He would have not done something? In other words, the fact that we lost the Efer HaParah is not Ra'alila. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is blaming us for this. But in truth, that's the path of the world in order to achieve Mashiach at the end. So what can I achieve now without the Efer HaParah? Or maybe there is a different pathway that can enable me to arrive there. Because the Efer HaParah is only to enlighten me a certain way, and us today in the Choshech, who do the most important work that was done since the creation of this world. Yes, we work in the sewer, but if you have your sewer clogged in your house, you don't have a house. You don't have a house. Your house stinks. So you realize that there must be something, because we know the cloud, that migo chashoicha afik nehoira. From Matan Torah, the fire was not out. The fire was inside a cloud. The light is never exposed. When you eat the fruit always has a peel to protect the fruit. The same way, the light of Mashiach is inside that choshech. So how can we, us, benefit from learning that Torah? And this will be fully answered, and you're going to see what we're going to take is huge with us. Besides the understanding of the psukim that are so challenging and so forth. Before getting into the answers, I would like to point out one more point. One more fact here, that the Torah is using two words that were used by Avraham Avinu. You're going to call on one hand the Efer HaPara, the ashes, and on the other hand, you're going to call it Afar. What did Avraham Avinu say to Hashem? Ve'onoichi Afar va'efer, and I am dust and ashes. What's the connection to Avraham Avinu? It's not possible that the Torah is playing with those two words and the Torah is not hitting us something new. First of all, I would like to first crystallize the introduction so we can keep on and go deeper. If we take the word, the main word here, Parah Adumah, equal 341. Equals Ephraim. Oh, what is Ephraim has to do here? Ephraim is a composed word. It's Mei Efer. The whole inyan of the Parah Adumah is this mixture that we're going to spray. The magic happens there. That's the first thing we see. Okay? I would like to see it. So now I'm going to take what the words the Torah said. Efer, which you have to mix with Mayim Chaim. This equals to 400, no, it's not, can be 400, yeah, 439. Equal Golus. Very simply, reminds me Gemara. Why? Because when the person is Tamei, automatically he has no Shalom. But Efer and Mayim Chaim are mevato the Gzera of Golus. How can Efer Mayim Chaim? I would like to see how this is. You know me. I don't swallow nothing. It's either provable through all the psukim and everything works, on very consistently, and it happened to me this week. I had to destroy everything. I had a path of. I arrived to the end. It didn't stem. I said, you know what? If it's not MS to find a Gematria, it's not Kedai for me. The proof is, look at this, Efer HaPara. And I'd explain everything afterward, and it's going to be self-explanatory once you're going to understand. But I would like to crystallize first the whole inyan about this. What is it touching up? Where is it touching you, me, and all of us, and all the daughters? 571 equals the 5 galuyas. Bavel, Paras, Yavan, Edom, Goig, Umagog. Wow. Even Chevle Mashiach. Now I'm becoming intrigued. What is Efer HaParam was supposed to be just metaher. What is this Tyra doing to the person? What is it? What happens to the person when he gets out of this cloth? What I call the koisnois oil, the cloth of leather, which made from the nachash versus the koisnois oil. Is it possible to go and play and go from koisnos oil with the ayin to koisnos oil like Adam Rishon had? Prior to the chet. Now, Elazar the Kohen says the Ramban, says the Rekanati, says the Magid Mesharim, Three of them say the same thing, even though some Rishonim are going to be choilek, but we, not going to the machlokes, but let me explain you what they say. Veshachat, in this pasuk, when I ask for lefanov, Veshachat oisa lefanov, Veshachat not Elazar, Azar. Oisa the Parah Adumah, lefanov before the Kohen. Why? Because he has to do the kavanas. The Parah Adumah was not shechted just like an animal stam. Oh no, he had a lot of kavanas. Which kavanas? Are they hinted anywhere here in this psukim? Well, if the Rishonim tell us things like this, obviously there's somewhere hiding. And we're going to have to put our finger on it. It's mind-boggling. When I found them, I made a hole in my ceiling. I don't get very much excited about this, but this time I said, unbelievable. It's amazing. So, but I'm going to take you step by step. So now we know we have to have a Parah Adumah with the das, which is the kavanas, which the shem of the kavanas is Aleph Hey Vav Hey, right? Es hashamayim ve'es haaretz, Rashi Tevis, like Dari HaKodesh says, this equals to 358. This equals to Mashiach. This equals to Nachash, because Mashiach, when he comes out, it's either one or the other in the world. He can't have both. So when Mashiach will come, then he'll be mevatel the Nachash. Very good so far. I understand there is a path. The path is the chitzonim that give us galus. In other words, the angels of the nation that always envy the shefa of the Bnei Israel, and they want to take it. That's why they want to enslave them all the time. So these are when a person is tamei, is no longer under the Shechina, is under the Sar of the Ummah where he lives. That's who shoilet on him. He's no longer under Noitzer Chesed, the Mazal of the Bnei Israel. He is under the Mazalis like a guy. For those who come Shabbos, he is no longer in the Yosher, he is in the Igulim. The tummy goes in the Igulim. And I'm going to prove you everything I said. The Targum Yonasan here in the pasuk, first pasuk, he's the first one opening the door to Talmid of Hillel Azarken, to why the language Zois Chukas haTorah is used and not Zois Chukas haParah. He says because the side of the Parah was not revealed, and the Torah requested to do it to a certain way. Therefore, when you do it the way prescribed by the Torah, it's considered you're doing the mitzvah of the Torah, not of the Parah. Let me decipher this language. The Chida writes that he has no doubt that the Ari HaKadosh, and that's the reason of his Kedusha and the level of Torah that he received, it's because he had the Hazah of the Efer HaParah through Eliyahu Hanavi. How does the Chida knows that? Because he got the same. How can the Chida write? I don't know how many Sfarim he has. I don't even have them all. I think I have 60. And there's much more. He was traveling the whole time. How is it possible to have such a level of Torah? Says the Chida HaKadosh, when a person is Tameh, he is verkrumt. He cannot understand the Torah, and his eyes cannot see the soidos of the Torah. In other words, the mitzvah of Parah Adumah is not a mitzvah for itself, for the Torah, but for a purpose, which is to understand Torah. Zois Chukas haTorah, that's the only path for you to understand the Torah, which is you have to be Tahir. I'm not speaking about Kedusha here. I'm only speaking about Torah. There's a huge difference. The Kohen is Kodesh, the Levi is Tahir. So a person cannot access the pnimiyus of the Torah, or even in the chitzonius of the Torah, he will say wrong things unless he is Tahir. Very good. Let's verify this hypothesis here. Zois Chukas haTorah equals 1,532. Or we're going to have bigger numbers today. It was tough, but equals Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad Or Ein Sof. Exactly the kavana when we say Kriya Shema, that we try to bring down the Or Ein Sof, because all the Shefa is in it. You know very well that Or Ein Sof already equals 414. Equals ve'ahavta. So we bring the Or Ein Sof, all do it to ve'ahavta, es Hashem Elokecha, then we're trying to get the Chut al Chesed, whatever. I'm not going into Kavanas here. So this is the Chukas haTorah, because a person cannot even be meyached. Kabbalas oil malchus shamayim of a Tameh is not a Kabbalas oil malchus shamayim. He cannot be mekabel oil malchus shamayim. He is made from the side of the Nachash. And again, Mashiach Nachash, same value. Ze leuma ze asa ha'elokim. He cannot. But if he's Taher, then yes, Zois Chukas haTorah, that if you do it, you're going to be able to be doing the Yichud Elyon, the Yichud Tachton, and draw down the Or Ein Sof. The Ari HaKadosh says in Shar Ruach HaKodesh, he was asked a question by Reb Chaim Vital, his Talmud. Reb Chaim Vital asked him, are we allowed to use the Shemos in order to, like in the older times, you do a goylem, you can do a lot of things with the Shemos. We have today books with the Shemos. Are we allowed to use them? Says the Ari HaKadosh, in the old times, meaning by the Tanoim, in the Amoraim, until Abaye Verava, we had the Efer HaPara, and they were using it in case someone was tummy. Therefore, they had a power. They understood the soid. When they say shame, they understood the soid. But today, that we are tummy mace, and we don't understand the soid, it would be terrible using. I'm not going to tell you the curses that he mentioned, but it would be terrible to use the shamus. We see that when from the fabric of the person, he has a certain path, a certain way that opens up to him. It's like a train. If he is on, line H, so he goes a certain direction. If he's on A, he goes a different direction. The rails take you to a different direction, depending on the rails. The rails is Yukdusha or the Tuma of the person. But again, you're going to ask me, and I know, and you should ask me, but today we have no Efer HaPara. So how we do it? I'm going to go back one level deeper. And I'm going to say something I don't want to say. But you know what? I'm going to say it. Now, if we take, as it's written in the Parashah, Parah Adumah without a vav, like almost saying Aduma. And there's a reason also why for this, but I'm not going sideways right now. Temima. This equals 830. This is a huge number. Maybe if you ask me on Shabbos, I'll elaborate a little bit. This is a huge, 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 huge number. Just going to tell you something today. Remember, we said B'Shem Moshe Kadovero, Zechus Yagan Aleinu, the Ramak, the Rebbe of Dari HaKodesh, that when Yeshua conquered Eretz Yisrael, he didn't touch the Pelishtim, Eretz Pelishtim. First, he starts in Mitzrayim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't take us Eretz Pelishtim. Now, we're going to go into Eretz Yisrael. We have the chatzotros, we have the trumpets, we have everything. We can conquer Yericho, but not Eretz Pelishtim. You'll understand a little bit of what's going on today over there. Not that I care so much, but I just care because our brothers and sisters, and these are blood and our flesh. These people, these soldiers, holy soldiers. Kadosh Baruch Hu should protect them and send refuah shalema to all those that got wounded. So when David HaMelech got conquered Eretz Yisrael, so it's the Kivus Sheni, the second conquest. Didn't even go into Eretz Pelishtim. Though Shimshon started, failed, paid with his life. However, says the Ramak, when Mashiach will come, we'll conquer them. This is the clipper there is called Pelishtim. And I don't want to say too much more about this, but maybe I'll speak on another thing on Shabbos a little bit about it. I'll give you a deeper understanding of what this clip is made of. And you'll understand why it's so hard. It's not the people. that are, I mean, it's not for us hard to conquer it because of the people. It's because of the klipa itself there, which is tremendously strong. But I'm going to go back now to the shir. I just wanted to open up a little bit to show you that there's much more than just our subject here. The level of the what is being taught is tremendous. So for those who know, I'm going to write it b'kitzur. For those who don't know, I'm going to explain. We have Ralav Tana, which we know it's 687. I'm going to show those who don't understand what I'm saying. This Yud Ke Vav Ke 72. This Yud Ke Vav Ke, you see, Olam HaBeriya. The second one is 63. Now it's with Aleph, all Aleph here instead of Yud and instead of one Aleph. Now it's 45. Now is with Haze. These four together equals 232. Now if we go here and take the Keye with Yud equal 161. Keye with Aleph equals 143. Keye with Haze equal 151, like mikveh. This is the name of the mikveh. So these two names together, it's already equals to 687. Now, Bnei Israel are formed exactly like this. This is the shape of a body of a Jew. There are three blue lines. You pay attention to the right, the chesed, to the center, rachamim, to the left is gvura. On each one of these lines, it's controlled by a name. Kel. In the center, rachamim is Yud Ke Vav Ke. The gvuras is Eloikim. Kel Hashem Eloikim, which equals 143. 687 plus 143 equals 830. So now you understand that this whole world and the power of this klipa, so plus, I don't like to write the plus, so we're going to say im kel yud ke vav ke Eloikim. Basically, the whole bria. Parah Adumah temima can affect the whole entire world. Because he affects the names coming, the shemen, coming from the Chochmah and the Bina down to this world. And we have the three lines. This is what Parah Adumah is going to affect. This is all Kedusha. So it shows me that it can turn, despite being dinim, it's going to turn everything into positive. How? We're going to see. If I only take these two words, now they give me, a general picture. I want to see these two adjectives being read and complete. What do they mean? Sorry. So Control V equals 545. What's behind this number 545? It's the building of the Tuma. You have the Sam, you have his Nukva, his wife, the Lily, you have the new companion Ra from Ishmael that Esau made, took in order to try to beat Yaakov Avinu, plus the chet that the person did that connects them. The cement. A Jew has no cement to connect to the Tuma. The only cement, the glue that glues him there is the chet. Through the chet, he is part of them. Without the chet, it's broken. He's going back into the Kedusha. That's what it is. Rashi asked the question, what connection is Miriam, the Misa of Miriam, the Misa of Aaron, here in this parsha when we talk about the Parah Adumah? This gives us the answer. Aaron, Miriam. Period. What does he mean? The same way, and Rashi says it b'shem the Gemara, the same way. The Parah Adumah is mechaper, the misa of tzaddikim is mechaperes. Okay, great. So what connection? Because of this, you're going to put it here? Yes. For those times when there's no Parah Adumah, we have to cling onto something and know how to become tahir, because we have no, and we don't want to be connected to the Sam and the Lily and the Rahab from the Arabs. We want to be connected to the shemis of the Chokhmah, the shemis of the Bina, and the three Kavim. So we have a flux. Hashem Hoishia, HaKadosh Baruch Hu help. We say it, I think, 7 times in the morning. HaMelech Ya'aneinu B'yom Koreinu. Do you know what you say when you say that? Do you know what you say? Do you know that you open the skies like Kriyas Yamsuf when you say those words? If you mean and you put your intention in those words, you can make miracles. Hashem Hoishia, Gematria 422, Arichanpi. This is how high you reach in the Keser. HaMelech Ya'aneinu B'yom Koreinu 696. 3 times Ralab. 3 times the shemis of the Chokhmah. To the Chesed, inside, to the Rachmim, and in the Gvuras. The Shemen comes down Shefa. There's no more 3 antagonizing each other. All of them provide Shefa. HaMelech Ya'aneinu B'yom Koreinu Rashi Tevois Yaboik. The side of Yaakov. Remember the last week's year? Yaakov, the letters of Yaakov is Yud Be Yaboik, what he did with the Malach plus the Ayin. That's what it is. You know, I know some are not going to follow on this, but sorry, I just opened a parenthesis. I just want to show here that not belittling the misa of a tzaddik, because a tzaddik says the Maracho in what word it is. Chaim Vital says this Beshem Dari HaKodesh. I forgot where it is. It's going to come back to me fully before the end of the year. He says, since when the tzaddik is niftar, he goes like a Parah Adumah through shemes. Therefore, if you can connect yourself to it, if you cry on it, if you really feel the pain of the loss of a tzaddik, so you attach to the tzaddik and you go up with him, automatically, can the clippers go up to Olam HaYetzirah? No, they know Olam HaAsiyah. If you elevate yourself, you're automatically gone. If you're going to Olam HaBeriyah, you're even more protected. This is where the Bina is. So you have nothing to do with them. They cannot soul you anymore. They can only soul you if you are, defile you only if you are in Olam HaAsiyah, all the way down to the bottom where they live. I would like to elaborate now for you and for me, you know, so we understand something, because now we're going to start taking some stuff for us. This is where I start the part of the shir that I'm talking to you and I'm talking to myself. Let me take away here or let me just put this. What's the chet that's really gluing a person into the wrong side, the dark side? It's kina, sina, and kavod. The person who has this fits the bill. He is part completely chasicha de isura. Is completely made of an isur. He has nothing Jewish. He is erev rav, completely erev rav. And this is because we explained before, we crystallized a little bit when the person does the chet, he goes in dollars. This is the reason we had Bavel, Paras, and Madai. We had Yavan, and we are in Edom. That's the reason, because of that chet. Kina, Sina, and kavod. That's all it is. That's simple. Remove this from your heart. You're no longer on the Shibud Malchuyas. You're free. And when? Look, if I would take Parah Adumah in full, okay, we have here how it's written, so I'm just going to develop it from here. Hey, Reish, Hey, Aleph, Dalet, Mem, Hey. This equals to 1,232. This Parah Adumah, now we're going into the belly of the Kedusha and see what he has inside. Kaparas avonos. Like Yom Kippur, like Kaper, there's a chaf and the par, you know. Ki bayam hazeh yechaper aleichem. Oh, a yud and the par again. Par being the gvuros. The gvuros are, we know, the double letters in the Torah. Mem, Nun, Man, Spach, Pei, and Chaf. These are the 5 double letters, which equals to 280, which equal to par. That's the Parah Mishtaleach. That's the one we send out on Yom Kippur. We understand that we have to remove the koyach of the Satan is these 280s. Nothing else. We fall in these 280s. Every time that a person, he goes into the par, he becomes a carbon for the Satan. Very happy to receive you. Welcome home, my friend. In other words, now giving you a synopsis to try to crystallize another part of the shir is the Parah Adumah, the Zohar says it's called Bas Sheva. Interesting name, right? No, the Zohar is Merames, and he's saying in the Tikkunim, Soid Hashvi'iyos is the same Soid of the 7. Wow. I remember in the Sphira we had 7 weeks, 7 times. 7 days, 7 weeks. 49. I'm going to the Bina. I understand that. I understand Shemitah is 7 years. 7 Shemitas is the Yovel, the Bina, Shar Chamishim. We received the Torah on the 50th day. Oh, Aduma without a Vav equals 50? Wow, interesting. Coincidence, right? Tamei equals 50. HaAdam equals 50? Yes. So we understand that the Torah is playing a game here, hinting us what we can reach through the Parah Adumah or a light. So we only have Bas Sheva. Bas Sheva, Eli Sheva, when the Torah calls something the Zer, Eli Sheva means Aleph Lamed Yud on top is the first three, and the next seven is the Sheva. So Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hoid, Yesod, Malchus. These are the seven that are being affected, and we're reaching the Bina. And to be more exact, the Zohar says he has the koyach of Avram, the koyach of Yitzchak, and the koyach of Yaakov. So the Bina gives to the Parah Adumah and uses the koyach of Avram, the koyach of Yitzchak, the koyach of Yaakov, and the Mesakim the Malchus. Okay. It seems to be, not making sense, not making much sense. But once you put it into numbers, you realize how simple what the Zohar tells you. You have the Bina, whatever. It's sending to the Midah of Avram, Chesed. The Midah of Yitzchak, Gvura. The Midah of Yaakov, Tiferes. That's all. This equals to 1,436. I know I give you a lot of Gematrias today because the whole site is based on this. And this is what Avraham Avinu said, Anoichi, Afar, Va'efer. In other words, yes, we are going to use the side of Avraham Avinu. The game the Torah played with changing the word from Efer to Afar was not done just like this. It's purposely done. Because we have to get those midas to work together in order to provide the Torah to the Tamimes of the Parah Adumah. In other words, when you want to elevate yourself, you have to put basically yourself into that situation of Bina, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes. Bina, Sarah Imenu, Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Okay, in other words, go on their path. Now call them by the name, call them by the midah, it doesn't affect me. Sarah, Avram, Rachel, Sarah, Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. And now you're going to understand, it would be revealed to us the side of the Parah Adumah and this Afer, the beginning of because don't worry, Shabbos, you're going to have your Vinay there Shir. Since the side is in these two words, who wrote that? Okay, speak. I can hear you. Oh, no, twice. Okay, I know what you're saying. I don't know what you wrote, but I know what you're saying. It's I should have written twice, probably, yeah. Sorry
about that, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Sorry about that. I just was looking at the numbers, yeah.
It's twice, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I'm being on all these gematrias I hope I didn't can easy because I'm being here. I have a team behind this of lions checking me. But Baruch Hashem, so far, so good. Now, okay, I'm gonna go from here. And let's see after that if it's what we have. So I have mostly the guys from the sheer left, which is Baruch Hashem good, so we can keep on if you have a little bit minute. Because here, what's behind here is amazing, amazing. Which is the pasuk? The pasuk is, let me go a second here. 3,980. Okay, I'm coming back. Let's go. I'm going to give you the Claudius, then you're going to have, I'm going to show you how it works. That's what it says in the passage. Velokach haKohen etz erez ve'ezo b'shni soilas. On Shabbos, I'll give a share on what this etz erez ve'ezo b'shni ve'hishlich el tech serefas haParah. Not sure I'm going to try to find the time to explain you the side of serefas, finish the kaper and the offer. This equals 3,985. This equals all the Shem base. Ana becha gedulas yeminecha tatit serura kabel rina samecha sagvenu taharvenu noira na giber doishe yechudecha kevova shamrem barchem taharem rachamei tzitkasecha tamid galem chasin kadosh beroiv tufcha nahel adasecha יפגע לעמך פני זרפה קדושתך, תעשינו כברשמה, צעקסינו ידי התעלומות. Plus Parah. Bring it to the Parah. That's the side of the Parah Aduma. It's using the Shem Mem base in order, so on every aspect of what the Kohen used to do, he had to think about one of the shemes for instance. Venosan Kohen. He had to pour the afer on top of the water. Venosan. So when he was pouring, equals 506. Equals the first name. From the chesed. So we know we have 7 names, 7 midos. That's the shvi'iyos of the Zohar, the 7. Now you have to take the Efer plus Mayim Chaim. I think it's correct. Where did I write that? No, it's not this one. It's Efer haParah. I'm using the language of the pasuk. Mayim Chaim equals 729. Equals Kra Satan. You take away the shin from the Satan because the shin is, what it means, Kra. Kra equals, okay, we can explain everything. It's the Shin Ayin Hoirin, the 370 lights. Satan, what do you do to him? You take away the Shin, and the Tes and Nun remain. So he cannot, he is, Nun Tes is 59, Nida. That's why we call it May Nida. That's the waters that made the Nida. Not that it's called, the waters are called May Nida. May Nida referred to what was done to the Satan, so he gets away from the person and we can be Metayer him. And if we take Afar plus Mayim Chaim equals 508. So plus the koilel of the 2. Okay? Basically, everything was done with the side, so the Zohar of the 7 names. Not that the side of Shvi'iyos we know 7 weeks, so right away we go, how do we understand this? Not at all. We are going onto the 7 names of the Shem Mem base. It's also a side of the Shviyos, and that's what is I'm going to start upside down. Or no, I'm going to start the right way. So we had Afer. Afer is Aleph, we said, par. We know in the Pasuk, Eile barechev ve'eile basusim. Says Reb Shimshon Mostropoli, Zechusa Yagan Aleinu. The side in the Pasuk is there are 70 nations. So why it's called Eile? It says like this. Because there are Va'anachnu b'shem Hashem Elokeinu naskir. And we are in the middle. We have the Goyim on the right, that Arabs that celebrate Friday as the week rest day. On the left, we have Esav, which is on Sunday. And us, it's the Shabbos in the middle. The Aleph refers to the Shem Keye. HaKadosh Baruch Hu watches over the Goyim. Kele says the Maharash Miostropoli, that is the Shem Keye, which is going to be the shame of the Geula, that does not let these Goyim invade us, despite us being in the middle of both of them. Afer is the Shem Keye, as the Zohar says before, the Bina is providing, takes the par and breaks it down. Remember, when the Bina is Meir, automatically the Sitra Achra is running to the down below, hiding the Gehinnom. And what we're trying to take away, the strength of the north, because Mitzafain Tavoi Hara, all the bad comes from the north. Where are the Klipos? In the north, in the base, the side, the left side that's open, it's the north. Equals 281, equals Hatzafain. It goes directly to the north. That's the side of the Afer. In Sreifas, why did we have to burn it? And it's called Sreifas. It's a tough word because it's a shin at the beginning. It's going to invert. The fire is going to invert the par. So they're swallowed. When they par, it means they have a koyach. When they're rafia, they're weak. And we have a saf. So basically, it's taking through the fire when the para is burning already. It's an exchange, a tumura that's being done with the Satan. He's taking the animal, and we getting back the nitzoitzos that he took from the from the Yidden. We take out him, and we are remaining with 2 letters, 700. You know that Eretz Zavas is 700. You know, this 700 is a very famous number. But here you're going to see something else. It's Keser Yesod. There's the Arab from Arichanpin all the way down to the Yesod. And at that point, that's why it was Kaparas Avoinois, the Parah Adumah in full. Because when the Se'ara comes, remember in Rava de Ravin, that, or on Yom Kippur, when they used to put the wool attached to the door, it was red. And when they was throwing the sire, La Azazel, automatically would turn white. This translates that at that time the Keser Sen, a light says that Kodesh comes out of the Metzach, from the forehead of Arichanpid into the forehead of Kucha Berichu. Arichanpid, his forehead is white. Kucha Berichu, his forehead is red because of the Avoinos. And with that light, it turned white. At the same time, down in the Beis Hamikdash, the red wool turns white. That's the kapeh. That's when you take away from the par and you bring the keser in the middle. Once you bring the keser to the par, if already from the bina he can withstand the haTorah, kol sheken when the keser, when it's arichanpin that shines up, that it cannot take the haTorah. I know it's no one will tell you that Parah Adumah is a simple subject. I'm sorry that I went a little bit hard, but there's a mechatos, why menida mechatos. We can keep on going for hours on this. This side of is amazing, and it's not simple to explain it, but I know through numbers, I didn't have to mention you a lot of pirushim because right away we understand what's in the background of this. I know it's a bit complicated, so I'm going to send the Shabbos for everyone. I'm going to send this drush too, because it keeps on. I just gave you a little portion of it. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen. Let me stop.